Today on the Science of Gaming, we're taking a look at a green-clad character from the Legend of Zelda series who is waiting for a fairy to come to him. If you're thinking Link at the beginning of Ocarina of Time, you're wrong. It's Tingle, who is a really happy fairy guy, first appearing in Majora's Mask for the N64. Everyone thinks Tingle is a bit of an oddball, but in such a dark game, he's a welcome sight, especially because he is so helpful, selling you maps and giving you a good luck spell to send you on your way. However, what if I told you that Tingle is a maniac? No, seriously. Look at him, he's so happy. A maniac can be defined as someone who is overly zealous or enthusiastic, and mania is described as excessive excitement or enthusiasm. Just look at how enthusiastic and excited he is when he meets someone who he thinks is like himself. However, maniac isn't defined as just that. It's also used to describe when someone who is crazy or has problems. Here's the thing, Tingle is always happy. Most people have really happy moments in their lives, but they also have sad ones. Even when Tingle is talking about his family problems, he just laughs it off. That starts to indicate some problems with Tingle. It indicates a mood disorder, a manic disorder in particular. A manic disorder, or mania, is a mental disorder where the patient has extremely high points, seemingly unceasing. A manic episode is defined as a period of 7 or more days of unusually and continuous, effusive and open, elated, or irritable mood, not caused by drugs or medication, and is causing obvious difficulties at work or in social relationships, or requires admission to hospital. Or one other thing to go with that, but we'll get to that later. Let's take a look at the evidence and criteria of a manic episode. 7 or more days of open, elated mood is the first point. We're only in Termina for 3 days and a short bit of the 4th day, so we can't see firsthand whether Tingle meets that criteria. But Tingle admits that he's been waiting for 30 years for a fairy and has still not lost hope. 30 years is significantly longer than 7 days, so even if Tingle exaggerating as much as 20 years, he'd still be way over 7 days. Point number 1 has a likely match. The next point is social difficulties. Tingle and his father, the Swamp Shooting Gallery owner, obviously have problems. All you have to do is walk into the Swamp Shooting Gallery and Tingle's father is moaning about him. Point number 2 has another likely match. In theory, all of these could be caused by excessive use of drugs, which would negate the analysis. Maybe Tingle is just really stoned. Aside from the probability of being dead by his age, there's that other point I said I would get to. If a person is suffering psychosis. Psychosis is really a catch-all term for people who have lost contact with reality and is a general psychiatric term for an abnormal condition of the mind. You know what would count an abnormal condition of the mind? Some mental illnesses associated with manic mood disorder. 2 such illnesses of the mind are schizoaffective disorder, or SAD, and obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD. Let's start with OCD. OCD is when people have recurring thoughts that drive them to perform certain actions. These actions often interfere with a person's daily life and cause problems in social interactions. Often the recurring thoughts are unwanted and unpleasant, and the patient feels they have to perform certain actions in response to those thoughts. One such response is repeating a certain phrase or action. What does Tingle do every time you leave him? Tingle, tingle, kulu limpa, and then he throws powder in the air. Seems as though Tingle might be suffering from something there. The other associated mental illness is schizoaffective disorder, or SAD. It's determined in the patient when they have both a mood disorder and schizophrenia. We're already pretty sure about that mood disorder, so let's take a look at schizophrenia. Schizophrenia has a wide range of symptoms affecting behavior, thinking, and emotions. These symptoms may vary, but they reflect an impaired ability to function. Some of these symptoms include delusion. I think that Tingle fits rather nicely into this one. He believes he is a fairy, and that one day he will have a fairy friend the way Link does. Disorganized speech, including jumbled up strings of words meaning nothing. Again, Tingle's trademarked words betray him. Extremely abnormal behavior, such as childlike silliness and strange posture. Literally everything about Tingle screams abnormal behavior. Lastly, some emotional abnormalities, including lacking emotion. I didn't find much about lacking emotions in Majora's Mask, but in the Wind Waker incarnation, the present he leaves you, the Picto Box, is in a room full of skulls. A little creepy, and he chose to not mention those. Additionally, he simply doesn't care about his brothers at all, making him do the work of rotating the tower. Come to think of it, that furthers the point of having social difficulties due to his obsession. Well, aside from having a mental disorder, Tingle may have a few other problems. Substance abuse is suggested by the redness of his nose. Additionally, he's pretty greedy. In Majora's Mask, he was selling maps to help his dad out, or so he claimed, but in Wind Waker, he took more than a pretty rupee from you. He literally needed a bigger wallet to be able to get his help on the map charts. Additionally, he was in jail. That suggests some sort of criminal record. I'm a little more than creeped out by the skulls. They could have been there when he arrived, but he did nothing about them in the Pictobox room. Why? Could it be that he is used to the sight of skulls and it no longer bothers him? Could it be that he killed his jailers and hid their skulls in that room? Could it be that he was in jail because he murdered victims and brought their remains in with him? Could it be? Who knows what lies behind that smile? So there may be a little bit of darkness to the map and fairy-obsessed friend here, but this is a video game and I'm not a psychiatrist. Take this with a grain of salt. However, maybe, just maybe, my speculation is onto something. I'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, this is LabCode Gaming. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to click that like or subscribe button. And if you want to see more, I've got 2 videos up on the screen right now. They are the Science of Gaming for another Legend of Zelda game, or the Science of Gaming for Yoshi's Island.